Hi, mister, how are you? My name is Daniel Flores, and I'm going to present you my lesson plan number 18 from my second term report. The topic is double comparatives. Now, the four objectives that I used during this lesson plan were the following. First, listening objective. Recognize to stress the double comparatives. How is it stressed? How do they sound? Next objective was the speaking objective. Discuss and rank usual and unusual behaviors. After that, the reading objective was situate usage of double comparative in different contexts. The next objective was writing. Identify punctuation and exponents of double comparatives. Regarding this, now let's talk about the methodology and strategies. I would like to tell you that I chose two methodologies and two strategies. I'm gonna mention all of them. First, methodologies. The first methodology that I used was flipped classroom high tech. What does it mean? It means that students do problem solving exercises in class. The second methodology was high tech to approach to learning. This is a very useful methodology because students use many different type of technology to aid student in their classroom learning. So it is important the use of this methodology nowadays that we are having classes by virtual platforms like Zoom, Google Classroom, Google Meet, Blackboard, etc. But in my case, I have chosen Zoom. Now let's talk about the strategies that I used. The first strategy that I used was computer games. Computer games means that educational computer games can be purchased for students to use to review and explore concepts. As I said before in the other lesson plans, I think that students learn by doing. That is a key. Learn by doing. In this case, they can learn by playing or doing exercises online. The next strategy that I used is called learning log. Learning log means that students write responses to teachers' questions as summaries of what they have learned or what they don't understand. It's about dialogue, conversation between student and teacher. It helps to the environment in the classroom because the student will feel better, much better, when they express their concerns or their doubts. So that's why I picked this strategy. Let's move on with the lesson plan. In the next part of my lesson plan, I chose the anticipatory set. In the anticipatory set, I greet the class and start by a general conversation asking students. For example, making questions like what are their plans for today or for tonight or for the weekend. This kind of starting, it helps a lot to break the ice in the class. So I start to talk about my own plans first. I start talking about my plans using double comparatives because that is the key. Using the main topic, the topic that we are covering in this lesson plan. That means double comparatives. In the next part of my lesson plan is the main teaching input. In this part of my lesson plan, I played a video. I play a video that contains double comparatives explanation. Then we talked about this video. We talked about that double comparatives are phrases commonly used in English to express what? Increasing or decreasing returns, and are often employed to underline the importance of doing or not doing a certain activity. Okay? After talking about this, the usage of these double comparatives, it's time to show the students or explain the two ways that we can write the sentences with double comparatives. First, the first way that we can write double comparative, the first way is the following. The article, the definite article, the, more or less, the word more or less, plus the noun or noun phrase with the subject, after that, the verb. Don't forget the punctuation, the comma. After the comma, again, the definite article, the, with more or less, followed by the noun, the subject, and the verb. This is the first structure when we want to make double comparatives sentence. Now, the second way to make sentences with double comparatives is the following. The definite article, the, followed by a comparative adjective, followed by the noun, the subject, and the verb. After this, you've got to write the comma, because the punctuation is very important in double comparatives. If you don't use the punctuation, it doesn't make sense. After the comma, you've got to write again the definite article, the, followed by the comparative adjective, it is, and the infinitive. These are the two ways that we can form double comparative sentences. After that, the next part is the modeling stage. In this part, I use a positive language, positive teacher language. I call it the positive teacher language. What does it mean? It means that reinforced language lets students know what they are doing well, so they can continue to make improvements when they feel confidence. And before students begin challenging work, reminding language helps them remember what they can do to help themselves. It is very, very important. It is very important with this. With this language, when the teacher gives supports to their students, the class will be amazing. It has happened to me because I have wonderful students. I always give them I always have a positive language with them, and they always try to do by their own, and they never give up. They always do their best. And the next part of my lesson plan is the guided practice. In this guided practice, I present on the Zoom on the whiteboard of Zoom the double comparative worksheet in order to practice with the students, and let them write on the screen of Zoom, white screen of Zoom, and first, don't forget, it has to be done with your help, with our help as teachers. They cannot write on the whiteboard of Zoom whatever they want. They have to follow some rules according to what we have said before. And this activity will be more challenging if their students do by their own without looking at the answers on the white screen. Okay? But in the next stage of my lesson plan, in the independent practice, in that part, I just tell students about a quizzes game. There is a platform called Quizzes. You can look for a lot of games there. And I found a quizzes about double comparatives. So I sent the link by direct message of Zoom, and first, before playing, I showed them how to play. I showed them how to play the game, and I tell them the first student that completes the game correctly will win the game. And it creates a good environment in the class, because all the students feel enthusiastic. The enthusiasm increase in high levels. In high levels. Now, in the next part, the assessment part, the students will have to create 5 sentences using double comparatives into their notebooks using their surrounding. They have to look what is around them. Then students have to present the little text with those 5 sentences to the class orally, because the production of English is not just writing, it is speaking too. So I developed those 2 skills in one exercise. Now, in the last part of my lesson plan is a closing review and follow-up. In this part, just I write the first part of a sentence, as individual students have to suggest the second half. For example, I give some examples. The more you study, they got to create the ending. The happier the child is, they have to create the ending. But the other 2 sentences, I give the ending. The more relaxed you feel, they have to think about the beginning. And in the other, the harder your score will be. They have to think about the beginning. This is my lesson plan number 18. I hope that you liked my lesson plan, mister. Have a nice rest of the day. Take care. Bye bye.